Ladies and gentlemen, we're about ready to start open mic. So who's ready for open mic? All right, we have just a few rules before we get started. We're going to kind of gauge the room and see how things go. But for right now, we're going to try and at least for the first couple, we're going to try and keep it as a PG-13 panel because that's what is listed on the schedule. And as the night progresses, we'll see how that goes. If you do have any cell phones, anything like that, I mean, I'm sure for Whose Line you already had them silenced. But if you just came in, then go ahead and silence them or just put them on mute so that way you want to give the people up on stage respect. Remember that everybody that comes up onto this stage is a performer and they are trying material or they have something that they have put together themselves or they're just imprompting it like I'm doing this right now. And in which case, either way, you want to give them more respect than you would give me. Give them the respect you'd give the conch chair when he's looking at you, okay? Do that because then he can actually he's in the same room as you, so I don't think you disrespect him. But anyway.
Let's rephrase that. Please show some actual respect.
Yes. So that being said,
I'm a clown.
You're a cloud. Wait, cloud or clown?
I said clown, I think. I don't remember. I'm tired.
Apparently I'm becoming slowly Helen Keller on top of Louis Braille, apparently.
Oh, good. We're going there already.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I done. Okay. What are they going to do? Throw the blind guy and the cripple out? You get that joke, don't you?
Cripple fights.
We didn't need to actually say it. Also, he's not here yet. So, with this crowd we have here, I'm thinking we could probably get away with 5 minutes per set.
Okay.
That said, you don't have to use up all that time. If you just want to come up here, tell a quick knock-knock joke, and leave, that's your prerogative. So, with that said...
We're probably going to do this by a raise of hands. We'll just ask who wants to go. Just raise your hand, and we will eventually come around to you. We already have a
volunteer right here.
So, awesome. How would you like to be introduced?
I'm TK.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for TK!
I got one.
Oh, you got one? Okay, cool.
Is it on? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Feel free to use the stage.
Okay.
If you are comfortable.
I've got 3 tales to tell. Everyone has a moment where they feel really stupid, whether you've said something dumb or you did something idiotic. I'll start with myself. I'm doing inventory at a warehouse, very boring work. I'm with a coworker. To make time go by fast, I just asked him a question. Do you have any pets? And he says, yes, I have a chinchilla. And I asked, oh, why do they take dust baths? And he says, dead-faced serious, oh, if they get wet, they multiply like crazy. And I was like, that is real? It happens to everybody. But a close friend of mine joined me for a vacation, and she's never seen thick fog before, at all. We drive by, and she's like, is anything on fire? What is that? It's like, it's fog. We drive by it, it's really thick, and I just stare at her slowly, dead serious. We're going to Silent Hill. And you just see all the color fade from her face. That was hilarious. I love that. Same friend, same adventure. She had never been to White Castle. She just heard about it. It's like, I got to see this. And I go in and I was like, I'll pay for whatever you want. I know, Rockefeller, right? And she says to me, okay. I was like, order whatever you want. She's like, okay, I'll just have 1 hamburger. It's like, nobody orders 1 at White Castle. The kids' meal's got 3 for crying out loud. Don't order 1. She's like, no, I just want the 1. The people behind the counter are laughing at her. So that's all she had, just the 1 hamburger. Well, I'm TK, and that's my time. Thank you. I'm glad I got to share those things.
Thank you very much, TK. Another round of applause for TK.
Thank you.
So who would like to go next? If you want to.
I'll go.
All right, and what's the name on that?
Hello, I am Onyx.
Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Onyx.
Okay, awesome.
So I can't really say that I'm that funny, but, you know, events in life, they can be funny. So I am a UPS truck driver, package delivery, and it just baffles me how you can go to the same house and deliver the same kind of packages every day. It's like, it's all you do, sit on Amazon, just buying stuff. Even sometimes I walk up to a house and I have stuff and like, did I order that much? It's just like, I wouldn't be here if you didn't. Like there was one time, 50-inch screen TV, walk up to a house. I order that? You're kidding me, right? It's a 50-inch screen TV. I would love to have this. Another thing. Okay, let me think. There's a lot. So one day, had a supervisor on me en route. We're going down like a country road, and we were out there. There was just a guy on a rascal, like a kind of bigger guy, just sitting there. As we drive by, my supervisor was like, "Was that guy naked?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's normal. That's normal." And he's like, "I'm scared to see what's not normal." That. Not seeing that's not normal. You should be scared if you don't see that. What else? QVC. Does anyone know what QVC is?
Yeah.
Quality Viewer Channel. There are two types of people that get that stuff. Hoarders and old people. Those are the only two people I seem to deliver those to. And it's always an overabundance. It's never just like, oh, here's a small package. See ya maybe 2 weeks from now. No, it's like, here's like 17. See you tomorrow for your other 20. See ya. It just baffles me. Like, who orders that much? And then there are the people that come up to you, it's like, oh, did you hear that UPS and FedEx are having a merger? It's called Fed Up. And I'm like, oh, I've heard of a better service. You can, order it, get it same day, you know the quality. It's called going to the goddamn store. Sorry for my language. That's all I got.
Oh my gosh, awesome job.
That was great. It was amazing.
That was great. All right, we are flying through this really fast. Who is next? Oh. We got a hand over there?
Yeah, awesome.
All right. And what would you like to be introduced?
Furry Mom.
Give it up for Furry Mom!
So I have a story about my furry child that's always loved animals. She had a fish when she was 2, and we were talking about God a little bit then, and the fish died, and as most people would do, they flush the toilet, put the fish down in the toilet, and she asked me, Mom, does God live in the toilet? Okay, that's all I got.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right. Oh, you want to come up?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Please get up for 16 May. Woo! 1 second. Do we actually have any minors in the room?
There you go.
Okay, there's your answer.
All right, that's okay. I have some material that's appropriate for it.
Great.
Okay, so I've been working retail for about, 14, 15 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you think you see everything. You're like, yeah, you see everything. No, you see some pretty bad stuff. Some people are pretty darn dense too. So at my first job, there was this girl. I love her to death, but she was dense. And here's how dense. So she got a $2 bill, and they're like, hey, what do I do with this $2 bill? Like, oh, you can take it and stuff, but you can't take any dollar bills from 1976. So she then pauses, goes through her entire drawer to see if there's any dollar bills from 1976. Not realizing it's a joke. And we're like, what are you doing? Making sure there's no dollar bills from 1976. Like, we're joking with you, Karen. Come on. And then 2 days later, she's trying to scan a box. And I was like, have you tried scanning the box on the label on the inside of the box? She proceeds to open the box and look for the label. And I'm like, why would that be in there? Come on. Seriously. Really. Come on. Then there was back on third shift. Whew, for those who don't know this, working day shift, first shift and third shift is a world of difference.
Yeah.
when the store's closed, oh god, the things you can get into. So I worked at a store that eventually then became a larger store. So we're moving people over. So I was in charge of things for a while. Fun. So I'm in the back and I hear banging. I'm like, okay, maybe there's a raccoon in the dumpster. Then, like, I don't think any of that happens every now and again. I then, in the back working on something, I hear even more banging. It's louder. I'm like, okay, there are 3 raccoons in the dumpster. 10 minutes later, even more raccoons, or even more banging. I'm like, okay, something is going on with these raccoons in the dumpster, or something is outside. I open the door, and what do I find but a bunch of teenagers who stacked milk crates to make stairs to get to the top of the building. If they would have not known how to move all of them away, so they'd been stuck there until the police came. But they've got me. And on to something quite funny. So I actually have a fear of birds. For a good reason. Have you ever been chased by a Canadian goose before?
Yeah.
I have. So, about 10 years ago, not that far from here, I was leaving the GameStop. And I saw a flock of geese. I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. I'm like, stupid bird. Next thing I know, 3 of them hiss at me and chase me halfway across the parking lot.
Yeah.
I never ran and screamed so much in my life. Then came 5 years ago, Outer Banks, North Carolina. I'm sitting there gathering seashells, minding my own business, like flicking one. I haven't noticed a seagull swoop by, grabs said seashell. I'm like, dumb bird. Flame's like, you better not do that. I'm like, oh, what's it gonna do? So I keep on going, minding my own business, and then suddenly, Flame looks back, and there is a line of seagulls behind me, like single file line. It looks like the freaking Golden Corral buffet line. And he's like, Barrett. I'm like, yep. You might want to turn around. So I turn around, and all I see is, "Caw!" right in my face, this close. I freak out. I throw seashells. They go everywhere. Has anybody seen Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds?
Yes.
Yeah. You know that one scene where the girls on the ground go, no! No! That was me. For a solid 10 minutes. I was screaming for him to help me, but he could not. Because he was in the sand, dying of laughter. Ever since then, whenever I see a seagull, I'm like, watching you, you little rat with wings. But that is my bit.
Give it up for 16, baby,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
You're welcome.
That was very great. Or that was great.
Oh,
Sorry.
I think I see another hand. Can you see it, Citrine?
I don't know. Can you give me some insight?
No.
Okay.
All right, I see your hand up there with the first suit on. Yes, you. Would you like to come on up here? And how would you like to be introduced? What was it? All right. Please give it up for Ink!
I'm just gonna. Alright. So, I am one of the younger people in the furry fandom. And something I've noticed, like, I'll be talking with someone, just like some random person, maybe older than me. And, you know, we'll be talking for a while. And they'll ask me how old I am. You know, I'll say, like, I'm 12, almost 13. And they'll go, whoa, you're that young, you have a fursuit? Like, I'm 21, I can't even have a fursuit yet. Yeah, that's it.
Excellent job. I think, another one right away. Excellent. Would you like to come on up here?
Sure. I know how fun this will be because I wasn't able to get the kazoos.
Wait, what?
I was trying to get kazoos earlier for this. Oh. I can work without it.
Okay. How would you like to be introduced?
Emily.
Please give a round of applause for Emily.
Okay, I'm not going to lie to you all. I was not able to get the preparation that I was expecting. So I'm going to have to improvise a little bit. So here is the entirety of the Simpsons skit, Steamed Hams, recited completely from memory. Well,
Well, Seymour, I made it, despite your action. Oh, Superintendent Chalmers, welcome. We're prepared for an unforgettable luncheon. Yeah. Oh, wait, gods! My roast is ruined! But what if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own cooking? Delightfully devilish, Seymour. Skinner with his crazy explanations. The superintendent's gonna need his medication. When he hears Skinner's lame exaggerations, there'll be trouble in town tonight. Seymour! Oh, superintendent, I was just stretching my calves on the windowsill. Isometric exercise. Gonna join me? Why is there smoke coming out of your oven, Seymour? Oh, that's not smoke, it's steam. Steam from the steamed clams we're having. Steamed clams. Well, Superintendent, I hope you're prepared for mouth-watering hamburgers. I thought you said we were having steamed clams. Oh, no, I said steamed hams. That's what I call hamburgers. You call hamburgers steamed hams? Yes. It's original dialect. What region? Upstate New York? Really? Well, I'm from Utica, and I've never heard anyone use the phrase steamed hams. Oh, not in Utica, no. It's an Albany expression. You know, these burgers are quite similar to the ones that they have at the Krusty Burger. Oh, no. That and Skinner Burger's old family recipe. Or steamed hams. Yes. Yes, and they call them steamed hams despite the fact they're obviously grilled. One thing I should... Excuse me for 1 second. Of course. Oh, well, that was a wonderful. Great times were had by all. I'm pooped. Yes, well, I really should. Good Lord, what is happening in there? Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis. At this time of day, at this time of year, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen. Yes. May I see it? No. Seymour! The house is on fire! No, Mother, it's just the Northern Lights. Well, Skinner, I must say you're an odd fellow, but you steam a good ham. Help! Help!
Give it up for Emily. Thank you. I think almost everyone's in this room's performed. Would anyone else like to come up to the stage? Another hand raised. Excellent. How would you like to be introduced?
Blaze?
Blaze?
Yeah.
All right, please give Blaze a round of applause.
There you go. All right. You want to go up the stage? It doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So, for most people who don't know, being visually impaired definitely sucks. So, here's some interesting stories for y'all. It was, I'm going to say, December, January, a couple years back. Me and my dad, we went out and ended up getting some dinner. And so we get out, go up to the house. I, unfortunately, did not notice the ice behind his truck. So what ends up happening? Blind people and ice definitely don't work. I slip and fall. Lo and behold, my parents end up laughing about it, and it's like, I still end up holding on to our dinner and everything. So here's another funny one for you. Me and a good buddy of mine who I've known for probably 10, 15 years. We went down to Columbus. Just hanging out there, went up to Polaris. Decided to get some lunch and everything. Well, that went according to plan. So, ended up getting pizza. And good pizza and everything. I was taking a bite. The pepperoni, unfortunately, was getting me to sweat, and the light must have been shining just perfectly where my friend was able to see it off my forehead, which made him start laughing, ended up making me laugh, so I nearly spit out what I'm doing, which makes him laugh even more. He was probably like, man, I think people think we're probably high or something here because of how much we're laughing. So, that is it for me.
Thank you so much, Blaze.
Great job, huh?
You want to come up again?
It's time.
Oh, God.
It's time.
Okay, 16-bit.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Now it's time for the 18-plus skit that I planned for. So, I'm going to start off with an old favorite from last year. So, I have a dog named Comet. I love this boy so much, but by God does he get into everything. So, in the first 6 months of getting him, I have him out, I'm doing the dishes, and there's a little viewing thing, like a little window thing I can see into the living room. He dashes upstairs, dashes back downstairs. I see something blue in his mouth. I do not think anything of it. Think, okay, cool, it's just one of his toys. I see him chewing on it for a little bit. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I pause for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. He doesn't have anything that's that shade of blue. So I go in there, and I'm like, hey, Comet, what are you doing? And all I see is, apparently, he somehow went into the upstairs bathroom, got into the sink cabinet, opened a box somehow, and grabbed a hold of David. A bad dragon dildo.
God.
Shaped like a wolf cock. So he's got good taste at least. So at that point, I scream, Comet, get the F back here right now. And at this point, it's like, oh boy, it's fun time with Dad. Run around the house. So I chase Comet around the house for 20 freaking minutes, trying to wrangle this thing from a dog. You know how hard it is to wrangle a dildo from a dog's mouth? Pretty hard. So when I get it, I just suction Comet to the table, and I wait for Flame to come home, my husband. So he comes home, and I'm like, hey, guess what your son got into? It's like, suddenly he's my son now, huh? I'm like, yeah, your son somehow got this. So teeth marks on it. That is the story of how my dog got a hold of one of dildos. And why I've got the nickname David from some people. Now on to the moving story. Oh boy. So recently we moved into a bigger house, and fun times had by all. Flame's parents, as always, they help us move. So we move everything all out. So we move the dressers all loaded up into the U-Haul. Alan, our other mate, decides to take the dressers out of the dressers, the dresser drawers out of the dressers with the stuff still in them. I don't realize this until I look out the window. I see it, and I know exactly what dresser it is. That dresser has my girly things in it. Do you know what it's like running downstairs in a house you don't fully know yet? You trip and fall. So I run out the darn door screaming, wait, do not touch them. Because I didn't know if he knew where they were. Luckily for me, he did. Happy ending? No. There's more. So we go back to the townhouse condo. We're still unpacking stuff. Flame left a picture hanging on the wall. His dad goes into the room, helps him unpack. He manages to turn around at the right second and pull off the picture, which, by the way, was a werewolf daddy with a big, hard, throbbing, you-know-what. And his dad is like, what was that? Nothing. Nothing at all. So he, for a split second, saw something he shouldn't have seen. Now, on to the story I've been working on last night. So everybody is all like, oh, I need a gun to defend my home. You don't need no AR-15 to defend your home. The Yakuza ain't coming. The ninjas aren't coming. Besides, if you miss, little Susie might get shot. You don't want to have that on you. So here's my solution for proper home defense. A chance XXL extra firm. Because if someone breaks in the house, they hear a gun cock, they're like, all right, I know what to expect. They open the door and they see someone half naked, sweaty, with a chance in their hand, saying, let's bring it on. They're not going to know what to do. Because one of three things is going to happen. One, the burglar's going to run away. Because the only thing worse right now than getting caught by the police is having a horse cock dildo imprint on your face for a week. You can't explain that well. Number two, see number one. Number three, you make a really weird friend that day. And I think one of our guests of honor actually said it best in one of their songs. There's no cock like a horse cock. Smash that sucker, watch him drop.
Amazing job.
Thank you, 16. You scare me.
What can I say but you're welcome?
You asked for that one.
Apparently so.
Yes.
I've got a rock.
I wonder.
Okay, so apparently my convention storyline is now being hijacked by a rock.
I got a rock.
Someone's literally going around the convention space with a box accepting charity money for a chance to name the rock.
Oh, you already know.
How much to add the name Dwayne to the rock?
Talk to Snow Wolf.
I will.
$3 for one donation, for one vote. Okay?
This is what happens when you don't pay attention to your regular chats. Snow starts stuff.
Well, he's got nerves of steel.
He's got nerves of steel.
He has too much free time.
Yeah, that's basically how it happens. Oh, you had enough. You're a staff member? Oh, you had enough time to create a third faction? Yeah, guess what? You're going to get promoted.
But I don't want to ever get promoted. I like where I'm at.
So, would anyone else like to come on up?
I kind of have a story, but I don't know if it's funny or not.
Why not? Give it up for Yahweh!
Okay, so at an unnamed furry convention this year, I almost died.
Wait, what?
Okay, and it wasn't like after the convention. No, it was the first night. So, all of my life, I've dealt with a weird allergy to pineapple of all things. And those of you who know, there was a certain Hawaii-themed convention this year.
Oh my god.
One of my rituals when going to a convention is to, very stupidly, dehydrate myself so I don't have to take multiple bathroom breaks going down. Because we drive, because flying is scary. So, having done this, I was very thirsty when we got to the hotel. And lo and behold, every year, most kind of the hotel, they have a cute V-shaped jug of water right next to the chicken desk, which this year was filled with fruit. I saw strawberries and blueberries, big old pile of fruit in the bottom of the jar. Didn't think anything of it. I drank 3/4 of it, and it was like 2 gallons. A lot of water. I felt good. Until about an hour later, when I was going to bed. Because we came in very late. It was already dark. And that Thursday was pretty much over. So, as I was laying down to sleep, I realized my throat, it feels a little tight. Oh, well, I'll just go to bed. 20 minutes later, having trouble breathing. And that progressed and progressed. That feeling getting tighter and tighter and tighter. To the point where I couldn't move anything in my mouth. I couldn't feel anything in my throat. I could barely move my neck. But I was still breathing. And I didn't want to upset my family, which always travels with me, who was already sound asleep next to me and on the other side of the room. So, thinking nothing of it, got out of bed, went over to our little case of water, just kept chugging it, keeping my throat moist and just dealing with it. Didn't sleep at all that night. And it kept getting progressively worse. Started taking some of my inhaler puffs, which kind of helped, but didn't stop. Until it came to a head where the space in the back of my throat going all the way down was no bigger than a dime. But one thing about my childhood is I got tonsillitis very early, where your tonsils swell up and you have to get them removed. It's procedural, basically, for when you're a kid. Had I not had that, everything would have, and I'd be dead. Thank God for medical science. After that, to add insult to injury, I caught the concrud. After I finally loosened up and was able to breathe again, everything shut right back up with concrud. Remember, 621 is an important thing. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I tend to enforce those rules on everyone else, making sure everyone else eats, sleeps, and all that stuff. but tend to neglect it myself. Don't be me. Long story short, after that, got all the testing done. Now I have EpiPens. You see me like doing a little weird polka dot bag. Anyway, that's about it. Know your limits, know your allergies, and don't trust random containers of liquids. That's it.
A very valuable lesson.
No.
A very valuable lesson to share indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and also, when you get the chance and you have the opportunity, do the allergy testing that your physicians most of the time will offer, because I found out there are several other allergies that I have about the same level to that I would not have known and could have very easily killed me after that. EpiPens are nice.
All right. Would you like to come up again?
It's only like, I guess it's not like a very long story. But...
Sure. We got a little time left. Why not?
Yeah.
All right.
So, as most of you know, well, as none of you know, this is my first furry con.
Woo!
My second con in general. And I'm very glad to be here. And you know what? It's been a pretty fun ride. Now that the first day is coming to a close, I will be coming back tomorrow. I will say it has been a wild ride. I got to meet Uncle Kage for the first time. I got to ask me a few questions. I got to get some writing advice from him. I saw him charge an enforcer with a metal chair in a drunken rage.
Wait, what?
Small exaggeration. During the writing teachings he did earlier, he started talking about the story called A Patriotic Tale, and how upset he was at how it could be, how the ending could be ruined in just a single sentence. So he goes on this, 15, 30-minute tangent about what the story is about, about the snow leopard and the sort of Paul Revere revolutionary times that he enacted in, about his sacrifice of his tale, and how it ended with. So as he was working up to the end of the story, he got to the part where he grows his tail back, and all of the sacrifice and drama of it is undone. And that's when he picked up a metal chair and started running at the doorway with an armed guard standing right there. So the con is going great so far, I will say that. That is definitely something I will not forget, and I'm glad to be here.
Poker just safety team? Thank you very much. I need to change out Kage's wine, apparently. Oh God, more hands. They want to come up again.
Oh, more stories about Uncle Kage.
This story's about you.
This was Uncle Kage. I brought it away.
Oh God.
Yes.
I'm gonna let Citrine choose then.
But you're gonna. Okay.
The Uncle Kage story or the me story?
Oh, I want to hear the you story.
Damn
I'm
it.
intrigued.
You first.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm first.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get you next.
Don't worry, that's about me.
I do apologize for being stage on. So, 2015 was my first convention. I remember before going to any first convention hearing a lot about Uncle Kage. It's like, man, he must be a heck of a person. You know, I'm like, all right, okay, cool. Get a picture of them. Really happy that I did that. So I then happened to see him when I am at, Furryality 2017. In the back of my mind, I'm like, don't ask me if he remembers you. Don't ask me if he remembers you. Don't ask him if he remembers you. The bad thing about ADHD and ADD is that you can tell yourself not to do something, but it still comes out. So I'm like, hey, do you remember me? And my mind's like, no, what have you done? It's like, I'm sorry, but I only remember people who cause me trouble. And yeah, it's just, that's really it, because I, don't want to hog up the stage. I could tell the first con story, the rest of it, if you like.
You got some time.
Okay, cool. So more on the first con of AC 2015. I went with a group of friends I'd never met before. one of my best group friends that are all just kind of across the world now. So anyways, one of my friends, Rex, he is a bit of a prankster. And so is my friend Keo. So, our friend Keo is afraid of spiders. Big time. So what do they decide to do? Get a remote control tarantula. Makes sense. Hide it under the chair. Turns out the battery in the remote control don't work. So what do? They hide it in a drawer. Wait for him to open up saying, oh hey, the GoPro cam is dying. Do you know what it's like to see a man that's about yay tall jump 3 feet? It's funny. It's even funnier when someone puts it in their bed and the person who put it in the bed forgets about it. So yeah, more onto it. This is more the 18 plus side things too. So one of our friends showed up a day late. So he kept on pestering Rex saying, hey, what's going on? Hey, is everything all right and stuff? So he gets fed up and tired of saying, oh, we're having a bukkake on Prisma's face. So we then proceed to take the hotel soap, it's white, thank goodness, and just spray it all over her face and stuff and take a picture of it and send it to him. And they continue the joke for the whole con. He leaves the con thinking he missed out on this.
Oh, gosh.
I am full of horrible stories, Poker, and you have to live with me now.
Apparently so.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I believe you had your hand up?
I did.
All right. Actually, I don't think you have been up yet by yourself.
Not yet, no. Thank you.
All right.
All right. I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not a very good storyteller, but I'll try my darndest. All right. So, me and about, 4 or 5 other people, we were coming back up from FWA. We had driven in a, big honking SUV. We were taking breaks, because it's like a 17-hour drive from Atlanta to Akron, Ohio. That was not smart. But that's not the point of this. So we're, after having taken a break at a little rest area, just to, get our bearings, stretch our legs, we have to drop off one of the people in a small little town called Woodsfield, Ohio. That is as rural can get. Yeah, you know, don't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The roads are very twisty, and it's dark. There's no lights, there's no, street lamps, anything like that. So we're taking it a little bit slower than normal. Also because I'm tired as heck. It's super late. It's like, what time was it? It was like 11. Yeah, 2 in the morning. It was 2 in the morning by the time we were there. I forgot to notice the police officer on the side of the road. So we're taking it slow. As it turns out, it's like we finally see the speed limit sign, and I'm like, why are we going so slow? Nope. That was dumb. So I get the flashy blue and reds. Fun. Oh yeah. We weren't carrying anything, but there's just a little procedure like, hey, how are you doing tonight? You doing all right? You haven't had anything to drink? No. We have not. Nope, not at all. We're good. We're good. No, we were sober. We were completely sober. But again, tired. So it's like, apparently it's common procedure to, have a drug dog come up. Oh yeah. We didn't have anything. Don't worry. But that's the funny thing. Apparently, this road coming out of Woodsfield into the next town over is trafficked a lot by people putting drugs to and from this poor little town of Woodsfield. So, naturally, so we had to sit there for 30 minutes while a good boy was sniffing. And it was like, okay. It's like, so I finally look at the officer and they're like, Okay. Hey, one last thing before we go. Can I pet the dog? You're welcome. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I think we have about time for one more. Oh, jeez. I don't know what you're going to say about me. I feel like I'm going to regret. Oh, okay, then come on up.
Okay, it's mostly about you.
Damn it.
There's other people.
This is Yahweh's Guide to Catching the Staph Infection. See these cute little badges that some of the staff are wearing? Most of the time, those are only given out to people who staff or work or volunteer at more than one convention. This is how I caught the staph infection. Okay, when I was starting in the furry fandom a few years ago, we realized very quickly that furry is expensive. But if you volunteer, you can get free reg or get reg early, just a bunch of nice perks. So, starting I think at AC our first year, we were coming in early anyway because Chicago to Pittsburgh is a very long drive. So we wound up there on Wednesday, Thursday morning, something like that. And they were looking for people to do bag stuffing. And eventually we got to the point where we were doing that every year we went to AC. That trend continued. Started volunteering at Anthro, Ohio, Indy FurCon, where I met this guy. Working Sponsors Lounge or something like that. Who was talking about all the things they needed to do here. Specifically, a certain Guardian that had been decommissioned since its last use. And I was just thinking that, oh wait, I have a bunch of extra fursuit stuff. Maybe I'll just make it as a surprise. So I did. 3 months of my life later, after only briefly volunteering at the con the previous year, and just randomly showing up with 2 pretty cool puppets that everyone seemed to like. Those of you who were here last year, did you like those? Woo! Okay. And so, come to con and you're staff now. That's pretty much it. And off to the races we went. Working with Storyline and a bunch of other stuff. Though this started a trend. I was labeled as responsible, whatever that means. Ugh.
I'm still figuring it out.
Sounds boring.
I know, right?
But this trend of making things for conventions continued. On to Anthro, Ohio next, where they got their 2 new mascots this last year. And then back here, which you will see later. And continued on, this responsible thing kind of stuck. And then on to First Squared. Have any of you who've been to First Squared heard of the Warm and Fuzzies?
Yeah.
It's basically security, but one step down, and there's more of us working the floor. Doing everything that security doesn't really need to be bothered with. Like directing traffic and answering normie questions, which is really awkward. And all that kind of stuff. And that went from First Word 1 year, First Word 2 years, and so on and so forth. Point being, though, is if eventually you don't want to be staff, don't volunteer. If you want to, and you see a need, fill it. They love that kind of stuff. And then eventually it'll snowball, keep going and going and going until you're working every convention. And that is pretty fun, not gonna lie. That's about it. Woo!
thank you, Yahweh.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
No, not at all. I just want to point out real quick, have you seen like all these little stars and stuff? Yahweh and her family have 3D prints. Okay, Yahweh, you 3D printed all of that, and that freaking blows my mind. And I just want to let you know, the little staph infection badge you gave me at AO, that's how I actually recruited a staff member from Macy.
Right here.
Hi, 16.
Hi.
Did you get one of those yet?
Yes, I do. I have the infection.
I have a few upstairs for those of you who I've missed. And for Saturday, for staff members, Saturday night, come find me. I've got something special.
Hey, Sarah, what is this?
It's a threat. It's a threat.
It's a
All of my
promise.
All right.
friends. All of
With
them.
that said, we are approaching midnight. I want to thank you all for coming out here. This has been the open mic. I know it's very late, but thank you so much. Getting up on the stage takes a lot of courage.
It does.
And the more times you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. Words are failing me right now. You want to say anything?
I can wrap it up if you want to. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for coming out to Open Mic tonight. Go out and enjoy the rest of your convention. Day 1 is just ended. Day 2 is just beginning. Remember, you get out of the convention what you put into it. So go out into the convention, enjoy it, make friends, and enjoy your weekend. We hope to see you later this weekend and hear from more panels. Thank you, and good night.
If you would like some points, I somehow have some.
Here, if you don't want them, I'll put them in the point gun.
No, you're not putting them. You're not
Point gun?
Point gun.
What point gun?
Point gun.
I love holding a mic.
Oh, you mean the thing that shoots it out? Oh gosh, you do realize.
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gattoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.